7 days of positive self-talk will set the stage for a lifetime of confidence, purpose, and success. Success begins in your mind. Change the way you talk to yourself and watch the world around you shift. Every day you speak to yourself. You may not always realize it, but the words you say have a huge impact on the way you think, feel, and act. The truth is, most people don't understand how much their inner voice shapes their reality. And here's the good news. You have the power to change that. What if for just 7 days, you could change the way you talk to yourself? What if you could speak to yourself in a way that builds confidence, fosters belief, and helps you move forward in your life? What if in just 1 week, you could begin to transform how you feel about yourself and what you're capable of? In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do that. I'm going to show you how to talk to yourself in a way that will change your mindset, boost your self-confidence, and put you on the path to success. It's not about some complicated trick or fancy technique. It's about changing the words you use to describe yourself and your potential. I know this sounds simple, but trust me, the impact it can have on your life is powerful. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear, actionable plan for improving your self-talk, and you'll be able to start using it right away to see changes in how you feel and what you accomplish. You'll start showing up for yourself in a way you never have before. This isn't just about feeling good in the moment. It's about making real, lasting change. It's about setting yourself up for the success you deserve. And it starts with the way you talk to yourself. So stay with me, and let's get started on this journey to transform your life by simply changing the way you speak to yourself. You don't want to miss this. Let's dive in. Day 1. Take control of your inner dialogue. Do you ever stop and listen to the way you talk to yourself? I mean, really listen? Most people don't. They go through their day, letting thoughts run through their mind unchecked. Some thoughts are fine, some are harmless, but a lot of them, if you really paid attention, are working against you. You wake up in the morning, and before you even get out of bed, there's a voice in your head already setting the tone for the day. Maybe it's saying, "I'm so tired," or "I don't feel like doing anything today." Maybe it's even worse, "I'll never get where I want to be," or "I'm not good enough." The problem isn't just that these thoughts exist. It's that most people don't even challenge them. They accept them like they're facts. But here's the truth. They're not facts. They're habits, patterns, repeated thoughts that have been playing in your mind for so long that you don't even question them anymore. And that's where the problem starts. If you don't take control of your inner dialogue, it will control you. If your thoughts are constantly negative, filled with doubt, fear, or self-criticism, then that's exactly what you'll experience in your life. Because what you say to yourself, you start to believe, and what you believe, you act on, and your actions shape your reality. So today we're going to change that. Today is the day you start taking control of that voice in your head. Just for 1 day, I want you to become fully aware of what you're saying to yourself. Every time a negative thought pops up, I want you to stop it right there, catch it, interrupt it, and then replace it with something better. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. "Jim, I can't just stop my thoughts. They just happen." And you're right. You can't always control what pops into your mind, but you can control what stays there. You don't have to accept every thought that crosses your mind as truth. You don't have to let it dictate how you feel and what you do. You have the power to redirect your thinking. Let's say you're working on something important, and suddenly your mind says, "I'm not good at this." If you let that thought sit there, it's going to affect your confidence, your motivation, and ultimately your performance. But if you catch it, if you stop right there and say, "Wait a minute, that's not true. I'm learning. I'm improving. I can figure this out," then you've taken control. You've taken back the power. And don't underestimate how powerful this is. Most people don't fail because they lack skill, talent, or intelligence. They fail because their own mind talks them out of trying. Their inner dialogue convinces them they're not good enough, or that success is for other people, not them. But that's a lie, and you have to be willing to challenge that lie every single time it comes up. Now some of you might be wondering, where do these negative thoughts even come from? Well, they come from a lot of places. Maybe from things people told you when you were younger. Maybe from past failures or disappointments. maybe from comparing yourself to others. But no matter where they came from, they don't have to define you. Just because you've thought a certain way for years, doesn't mean you have to keep thinking that way. You can change it, but you have to be intentional about it. Here's what I want you to do today. I want you to become hyper-aware of the way you talk to yourself. Every time you catch a negative thought, I want you to stop and replace it with something empowering. And if you need to, say it out loud. There's power in hearing your own voice. Say something positive. If your mind says, I'll never be successful, I want you to say, I am capable. I am building my future, step by step. If your mind says, I'm too tired, say I have the energy to do what needs to be done. If your mind says, I always fail, say every setback is a lesson that makes me stronger. This might feel strange at first, and that's okay. You're breaking an old habit, and that takes time. But if you stick with it, you'll start to notice something incredible. You'll start feeling more in control. You'll start feeling stronger, more confident. And that's because you're no longer letting your thoughts run the show. You're running the show. Another thing I want you to think about is where your thoughts are coming from. Because your inner dialogue isn't just shaped by what's already in your head. It's shaped by what you expose yourself to. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, whether it's the people you spend time with, the news you watch, the social media you consume, then guess what? That negativity is going to seep into your own thinking. So starting today, I want you to be intentional about what you allow into your mind. If you're always around people who complain and make excuses, limit your time with them. If you're constantly consuming content that fills you with doubt or fear, turn it off. Fill your mind with things that lift you up. Read something that inspires you. Listen to people who push you to be better. Because what you feed your mind will determine what it says back to you. And here's the final thing I want you to do today. I want you to create a personal power statement. One sentence that reminds you of who you are and what you're capable of. It could be something like, I am strong, I am disciplined, and I am moving forward every day. Or I control my thoughts, my actions, and my future. Find something that speaks to you, and say it every morning when you wake up. Say it when you feel doubt creeping in. Say it when you're about to take on a challenge. The more you repeat it, the more it will become a part of you. Now I want you to really take this seriously. Just for one day, commit to this. Catch every negative thought, and stop it. Replace it with something better. Be mindful of what you're allowing into your mind. Speak to yourself with strength, with confidence, with conviction. And I promise you this, if you do this, you will feel the difference. You'll feel more in control. You'll feel more capable. And this is just the beginning. Because once you master this, everything else in your life starts to change. Tomorrow, we're going to take it a step further. We're going to talk about how to speak with confidence and conviction. Because once you control your inner dialogue, the next step is learning how to use it to fuel your success. Day 2, speak with confidence and conviction. You've begun paying attention to the way you talk to yourself. You've started catching those negative thoughts before they take hold, replacing them with something better. And if you did that, even for just one day, I'm sure you felt the difference. Maybe you felt a little more in control. Maybe you felt a little lighter, a little more focused, and that's a good start. But today, we take it further, because it's not just what you say to yourself, it's how you say it. See, words have power, but the way you deliver them is just as important. Think about it. If I stand up here and say, I believe in you in a weak, hesitant voice, you probably wouldn't feel very inspired. But if I look you in the eye and say it with confidence, with strength, with conviction, you feel it. And the same thing applies to how you talk to yourself. Confidence isn't something you wait for. It's something you build. And it starts with the way you speak to others, and more importantly, to yourself. If you talk to yourself like you're unsure, like you don't really believe the words coming out of your own mouth, guess what? Your mind won't believe them either. And if your mind doesn't believe them, your actions won't follow. But if you stand up straight, if you breathe deep, if you say what needs to be said with certainty, everything changes. You feel stronger. You feel more capable. And you start to act that way. That's why today is all about speaking with confidence and conviction. Not just going through the motions, but owning your words. Think about the last time you really felt confident about something. Maybe it was a skill you've mastered, something you know you're good at. When you talk about it, you don't hesitate. You don't second guess yourself. You just say it, because you know it's true. That's the energy you need to bring to every word you speak about yourself and your future. And I know what some of you might be thinking. Jim, how am I supposed to speak with confidence when I don't feel confident? Great question. Let me tell you something. Confidence is not a feeling you wait for. It's a habit you create. And the fastest way to create it is to act like you already have it. Stand up straight, look yourself in the mirror, and speak like someone who believes in what they're saying. Speak like someone who knows they're capable. Even if you don't feel it yet, do it anyway. Because when you change how you speak, your mind starts to catch up. Now I want you to try something. Say the words "I am strong," but don't whisper it. Don't mumble it. Say it like you mean it. Say it like there's no room for doubt. Say it like someone who has already won. And do you know what happens when you do that? Your brain takes notice. When you sound confident, you start to feel confident. And when you feel confident, you act differently. You make stronger decisions. You take bigger steps. You don't hesitate when opportunities come your way. Some people wait their whole lives for confidence to magically appear before they go after what they want. And guess what? It never shows up. Because confidence doesn't come first. Action does. The way you talk to yourself. The way you carry yourself. The way you push forward. Even when you don't feel ready. That's what creates confidence. Let me tell you a story. I once met a man who had big dreams, but he couldn't seem to move forward. Every time he talked about his goals, he'd say things like, "I think I might be able to do it," or "I hope I can figure it out." You could hear the doubt in his voice. And I told him, listen, the first step to changing your life is changing how you speak about your life. I made him rephrase every sentence. Instead of "I hope," I told him to say, "I will." Instead of "I think," I told him to say, "I know." Instead of "maybe," I told him to say, "Definitely." And do you know what happened? At first it felt uncomfortable. He wasn't used to talking that way. But after a while he started to believe his own words. And once he believed them, he started acting on them. And that's when his life started to change. So I'm telling you right now, stop speaking with hesitation. If you want to build a strong, unstoppable mindset, your words need to match that. No more, "I hope." No more, "I'll try." No more, "Maybe one day." From now on, every time you talk about your goals, about your future, about who you are, I want you to say it with certainty. I want you to own it. I want you to say it in a way that leaves no room for doubt. And it's not just about words. It's about your entire presence. Your tone, your posture, the way you carry yourself. If you stand slouched over, if you speak softly, if your words sound unsure, you're telling your brain that you're unsure. But if you stand up straight, if you speak clearly, if you say things with authority, your brain starts to believe you. That's why I want you to do something today. I want you to spend 5 minutes looking yourself in the mirror and talking like a winner. Say your goals out loud. Say your strengths out loud. Say what you're working toward. And say it with power. If your voice shakes, do it again. If it feels uncomfortable, do it again. Because every time you do it, you're training your mind to believe in you. And let me tell you, once you master this, everything else becomes easier. Opportunities feel more within reach. People respect you more. And most importantly, you respect yourself more. Because you know you're not just wishing for something. You're becoming someone who makes things happen. So today, focus on how you're speaking to yourself. Make it strong. Make it firm. Make it powerful. And tomorrow we're going even deeper. Because once you start speaking with confidence, the next step is reprogramming your mind for success. Day 3. Reprogram your mind for success. We talked about speaking with confidence, about making sure that when you talk to yourself, you say things with power, with certainty, because your mind believes what you tell it, especially when you say it like you mean it. Now today we're going even deeper. Because it's not just about what you say or how you say it, it's about what you believe. And if you've spent years telling yourself the wrong things, you've got some reprogramming to do. You see, the way you talk to yourself is shaping your reality every single day. Whether you realize it or not, the things you say, the thoughts you repeat, the beliefs you hold, those are the things that are running your life. Some people don't even question them. They assume that whatever's in their head must be true. But here's the truth. Most of the things that hold you back aren't real. They're just stories. Stories you've been told. Stories you've told yourself. And stories can be rewritten. Think about this for a second. Every time you say something like, "I'm not good enough," or "I'm not smart enough," or "I don't have what it takes," what are you really doing? You're training your mind to believe it. And once your mind believes it, your actions follow. You hesitate. You doubt yourself. You hold back. You don't even try. And then when things don't work out, you say, "See, I knew I couldn't do it." But here's the problem. You never actually tested what you were capable of. You never gave yourself a real chance because you already convinced yourself it wouldn't work. That's not reality. That's programming. And if you want a different life, you need to reprogram your mind for success. Now I know what you're thinking. Jim, that sounds great. But how do I actually do that? Simple. You start by replacing the old programming with something better. From this moment on, every negative thought you have about yourself, every limiting belief, every excuse, you challenge it. You don't just accept it. You ask yourself, is this really true? Or is this just something I've told myself over and over again? Because here's what I've learned. Most of the time, the things we think are limitations are just habits. They're not facts. They're just thoughts we've repeated so many times that we started to believe them. But if a thought got into your mind through repetition, guess what? You can remove it the same way. You do it by feeding your mind something new, something stronger, something that actually helps you instead of holding you back. Let's try something right now. Take a negative belief you've had about yourself. Maybe you think you're not smart enough to succeed. Maybe you think you don't deserve success. Maybe you think you're not disciplined enough, or you're too late, or you're too far behind. Whatever it is, I want you to take that thought, and I want you to flip it. If you think I'm not smart enough, I want you to say, I can learn anything I need to know. If you think I don't deserve success, I want you to say, I am worthy of every good thing that comes into my life. If you think it's too late for me, I want you to say, my best days are ahead of me. And I don't want you to just say it. I want you to say it out loud. I want you to say it like it's the truth. Because the more you repeat it, the more your mind will start to believe it. This is how you reprogram your mind. You don't let the old beliefs run your life. You don't accept thoughts just because they've been there for a long time. You choose what stays. You choose what thoughts get to take up space in your mind. And let me tell you something. This won't happen overnight. If you've spent years telling yourself the wrong things, it's going to take time to undo that. But here's the good news. Every time you challenge a negative thought, every time you replace it with something better, you are taking back control. You are rewiring your brain. You are building new beliefs that serve you instead of limit you. And you will notice the difference. You will catch yourself when you start to doubt. You will hear those old thoughts creep in, and instead of just believing them, you'll say, no, that's not the truth. The truth is, I can do this. Do this for a few days, and you'll feel a shift. Do this for a few weeks, and you'll see your confidence grow. Do this for a few months, and you won't even recognize the person you used to be. Because the person you're becoming is someone who doesn't just hope for success, they expect it. So starting today, I want you to take control of the thoughts in your mind. When you hear something negative, stop, challenge it, replace it with something stronger, and do it over and over again until the old programming disappears. Day 4. Train yourself to think and talk like a winner. If you want to win, if you want to become someone who succeeds in life, you have to train yourself to think and talk like a winner. It's not something that just happens on its own. It's something you build, day by day, word by word, thought by thought. Because let me tell you, your mind is always listening. Every single thing you tell yourself, your mind takes in and uses to shape how you feel, how you act, and ultimately what you become. The way you speak to yourself is shaping your future. If you constantly tell yourself that you're tired, that you're not good enough, that you're unlucky, then guess what? Your mind will believe it. And when your mind believes it, your body follows. You start feeling tired. You start hesitating. You stop taking chances. And before you know it, you're stuck in the same place, wondering why things aren't changing. But winners don't talk to themselves like that. Winners don't make excuses. Winners don't focus on what's wrong. Winners take control of their thoughts and their words. They tell themselves the things they need to hear, even when it's hard. They push themselves forward instead of holding themselves back. You have to start training yourself to think and talk like a winner, even if you don't feel like one yet. That's how winning starts. It starts in the mind, long before it shows up in real life. You have to start speaking the language of success before success comes to you. So let me ask you something. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you say to yourself? Do you say, "I'm so tired," or "I don't feel like doing this today"? Or do you say, "I'm ready to go. I'm getting better every day. I'm going to make this day count"? Because that little difference, it matters. The way you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Winners start their day with focus, with energy, with purpose. They don't let their feelings decide how they're going to act. They decide how they're going to act, and their feelings follow. If you want to win, you have to start talking to yourself like a winner. When you face a challenge, don't say, "This is too hard." Say, "I will figure this out." When you feel tired, don't say, "I can't do this." Say, "I'm going to push through." When you make a mistake, don't say, "I always mess up." Say, "I'm learning, and I'll do better next time." It's not about ignoring reality. It's about choosing what part of reality you focus on. Because every challenge has a solution. Every setback has a lesson. Every problem has an opportunity hidden inside of it. And when you train yourself to look for the solutions, the lessons and the opportunities, you start to win. Little by little, step by step, until one day you look around and you realize you're not the same person anymore. You see, most people let their words control them. But winners control their words. And when you control your words, you control your life. It doesn't matter where you're starting from. It doesn't matter how much doubt you have in your mind right now. What matters is what you do next. And what you do next starts with what you tell yourself. So from this moment on, make a decision. Make a decision that you will not talk to yourself like a loser. Make a decision that you will not speak weakness into your life. Make a decision that you will think and talk like a winner. Because the moment you do that, you start becoming one. Day 5. Use self-talk to overcome fear and doubt. There are moments in life when fear and doubt try to creep in. They try to tell you that you're not good enough, or that something is too difficult for you. They try to convince you to back down, to take the easy route, to stay comfortable. And in those moments, it's easy to listen to those voices. They're loud, they're convincing, they speak with authority, like they know something you don't. But here's the thing, that voice, it's a liar, and it's time you start fighting back. The biggest thing holding most people back from achieving their goals, from pushing through their doubts and fears, is simply the fear of failure. It's the fear that they're not going to be able to do it. It's the fear that if they try, they'll fall short. But here's the truth. You'll never overcome that fear if you keep letting it control you. You have to use your self-talk to challenge that fear, to fight back against it, and to tell yourself that you can do it, even when everything in you is screaming the opposite. Because here's the thing. Self-talk is your most powerful tool when it comes to overcoming fear and doubt. What you tell yourself when you face challenges matters more than you realize. When you're up against a tough situation, the words you use to speak to yourself can either paralyze you or propel you forward. It's up to you to decide which one it will be. So let's say you're facing something that feels bigger than you. Maybe it's a big project at work, a goal you've been working toward for a while, or even a change you're trying to make in your personal life. And as you step closer to it, you start to feel that doubt creeping in. What if I fail? What if this isn't for me? What if I'm not good enough? Now this is where most people would stop. They'd give in to those fears and let them take over. They'd listen to that little voice in their head that tells them to quit before they even start. But winners Winners don't listen to that voice. Winners don't let fear control them. Instead, winners use self-talk to push through those moments of doubt and fear. Winners talk to themselves in a way that makes them feel powerful, capable, and unstoppable. You see, the key here is to recognize that fear is a natural part of growth. When you're pushing yourself to do something that's new or difficult, it's normal to feel afraid. But just because you feel fear doesn't mean you have to let it control you. It doesn't mean you have to let it stop you. The fear is just a feeling. It's not a fact, and you have the power to challenge it. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" start asking yourself, "What if I succeed? What if I get better? What if this challenge is exactly what I need to grow?" You see, it's all about shifting your perspective. Instead of seeing fear as something that holds you back, start seeing it as something that pushes you forward. Fear is a signal that you're on the edge of growth. It's a sign that you're doing something that matters. Every time you face fear and choose to move forward anyway, you're training your mind to become stronger. You're telling yourself that you won't be stopped by your doubts or insecurities. You're proving to yourself that you have what it takes. And the more you do this, the easier it gets. The more you push past those feelings of fear and doubt, the more you'll start to believe in your own ability. And that belief, that confidence in yourself is what will carry you through even the toughest challenges. So the next time fear tries to hold you back, don't listen to it. Don't buy into it. Instead, use your self-talk to challenge it. Tell yourself that you can do it. Tell yourself that you're capable. Tell yourself that you've got this no matter what. And the more you do this, the more you'll start to see your fear start to lose its power. You'll start to see your doubts become smaller and smaller, until they no longer have the control they once did. Now, I know it's not always easy. I know there are going to be days when you feel like you're not good enough, when you feel like quitting would be the easiest thing to do. But those are the moments when your self-talk is the most important. Those are the moments when you need to remind yourself that you are strong, capable, and deserving of success. Because if you can push through those tough moments, if you can keep moving forward even when it feels impossible, that's when the real growth happens. That's when you prove to yourself that you're capable of far more than you ever thought possible. Remember, self-talk isn't just about positive thinking. It's not about ignoring the reality of a situation or pretending that things are easy when they're not. It's about choosing to believe that you can handle whatever comes your way. It's about choosing to believe that no matter how difficult things get, you have the strength, the resilience, and the determination to keep going. And that's what separates the winners from the rest. Winners don't quit when things get tough. They keep pushing forward, using their self-talk as a tool to keep going, even when it feels like the odds are stacked against them. So when doubt and fear show up, as they inevitably will, don't back down. Don't shrink away. Stand tall and tell yourself that you're ready. Tell yourself that you can handle it. Tell yourself that you're capable of overcoming anything that comes your way. And most importantly, believe it. Because when you believe in your ability to overcome your fears, that's when you truly become unstoppable. Day 6. Make your self-talk a daily habit. You've taken control of your inner dialogue. You've started speaking with confidence and conviction. You've been working on reprogramming your mind for success, and you've learned how to talk and think like a winner. But here's the truth. It doesn't stop there. None of this matters if it's not something you keep doing every single day. When you make something a habit, it becomes automatic. You don't even have to think about it. But building that habit, well, that takes time and dedication. You've started changing the way you talk to yourself, but to make it stick, you've got to turn it into a daily practice. It's not just about feeling good for a moment. It's about transforming your entire mindset over time so that it becomes second nature. And that's where the magic happens. I'm going to tell you this straight up. If you want to truly change your life, you need to make self-talk a daily habit. The most successful people in the world don't just talk to themselves positively once in a while. They do it consistently. They make it a part of their daily routine, just like brushing their teeth, eating breakfast, or going for a walk. They understand that it's not about what happens in a single moment, but about the compounded effect of small, consistent actions. And that includes how they talk to themselves. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you say to yourself? Most people don't even realize that they're setting the tone for their entire day right from the moment they open their eyes. They might say, "Ugh, I'm so tired," or I have so much to do today. Right there, they've already started their day with negative self-talk, but if you want to make this change stick, it's time to flip that script. The first thing you say to yourself in the morning should be something empowering. It should be something that sets you up for success, something that makes you feel excited, something that pushes you to get out of bed and tackle the day with energy and focus. Instead of groaning about how tired you are, say, I am ready to take on the day. Say, today is going to be a great day. It doesn't matter if you don't feel like it at first. It doesn't matter if your body is tired or your mind is still foggy. Saying it anyway will start to create a shift. That's the power of consistency. When you make self-talk a habit, it starts to work behind the scenes, even when you're not paying attention to it. When you repeat positive, empowering words to yourself every day, you slowly reprogram your mind. It doesn't happen overnight, but if you stay consistent, you'll start to notice the changes. You'll start noticing that you're more confident, that you're more positive, that you believe in yourself more. And that belief, that confidence, it will carry you through the challenges and obstacles that come your way. Think about it this way. If you want to get in shape, you don't just work out once in a while, you work out regularly, you make it a part of your routine. It's the same thing with self-talk. You can't just do it once and expect miracles. You've got to make it a habit, day in and day out. And over time, that consistency will build something incredible in your life. I'm going to tell you something that might surprise you. Most of the negative thoughts you have aren't even true. They're just stories you've been telling yourself for so long that you've come to believe them. And if you're not careful, those stories can start to control you. But when you make self-talk a daily habit, you start replacing those old limiting beliefs with new ones. You start telling yourself a new story. And that story, it's one of success, of growth, of possibility. Now I know it's not always easy. There are days when you won't feel like doing it. There are days when you'll feel tired, when you'll feel discouraged, when you'll feel like nothing is going the way you want it to. But that's when you've got to push through. You've got to remind yourself that even on those tough days, you're still making progress. Even when things feel difficult, you're still becoming the person you want to be. That's the power of making self-talk a habit. Even on the days when you don't feel like it, even when you're not seeing the results right away, you're still planting the seeds for future success. You're still building a foundation for a stronger, more confident, more capable you, and eventually those seeds will start to grow. You'll start to see the changes in your life. You'll start to see yourself handling situations with more ease, more confidence, and more clarity. This isn't about being perfect. This isn't about getting everything right all the time. It's about showing up every day and making the decision to speak to yourself in a way that moves you forward, even when it's hard. It's about making the decision to focus on what you can do, not what you can't. It's about training your mind to believe in your potential no matter what. So what I want you to do right now is commit. Commit to making this a daily habit. Commit to talking to yourself with the same love, encouragement, and belief that you would show to someone you care about deeply. Commit to waking up every day and reminding yourself that you are capable of more than you've ever imagined. Commit to showing up even when you don't feel like it, and telling yourself that you are worth the effort. Because that's the kind of commitment that will change your life. That's the kind of commitment that will carry you through the ups and downs and help you reach your goals. And over time, when you look back, you won't just see the person you used to be, you'll see the person you've become. And that person will be stronger, more confident, and more capable than you ever thought possible. The key is consistency. It's not about doing it perfectly, it's about doing it every day. And the more you practice, the more natural it will become. Before long, you'll find yourself thinking and talking like a winner without even thinking about it. Your mind will automatically shift toward the positive, toward the empowering, and toward the possible. And that's when everything in your life starts to change. That's when your habits, your beliefs, and your actions begin to align and you become unstoppable. Day 7. The transformation. Becoming your own mentor. You've taken control. You've started speaking with confidence. You've reprogrammed your mind for success, and you've made this powerful practice a daily habit. But now we're at the point where the magic truly happens. You're not just going to keep doing this. You're going to step into a new version of yourself, a version that is unstoppable. At this stage, you're not just talking to yourself anymore. You're mentoring yourself. You're the guide, the coach, and the supporter that you've always needed. It's no longer about hearing the words and feeling motivated in the moment. It's about creating lasting change within you. It's about becoming the person you've always wanted to be, because you've learned how to speak to yourself like someone who's already there. And this isn't a small change. This is a shift in how you see yourself and your potential. You've now become your own biggest fan, your own biggest supporter. You've learned how to push through the fear, the doubts, and the uncertainties by leaning on your own words of encouragement. And that's the most powerful tool you can have in your life. You've already put in the work. You've been consistent. You've been speaking to yourself with love, encouragement, and belief. You've transformed the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you approach life. But now you need to take that one step further. It's time to become the mentor to yourself that you've always needed. When you become your own mentor, you stop waiting for someone else to tell you what to do. You stop relying on external validation. You stop looking for permission. You take full ownership of your life. You step up, take responsibility, and recognize that the person who will determine your success is you. And the voice you've been cultivating over these past 7 days is the voice that will lead you to greater things. This transformation doesn't just happen because you've been saying the right things. It happens because you've been conditioning your mind to believe in your own potential, to believe in your own abilities. And when you begin to believe in yourself in this way, something incredible starts to happen. You begin to make decisions from a place of certainty, from a place of belief in your capabilities. Now, your self-talk isn't just affirmations, it's action. It's a call to action. It's about moving forward with confidence, because you know that you're on the right path. You've already started doing the work. You've already begun seeing results. Your mindset has shifted, and now it's time to act on it. You know there's something incredibly powerful about being your own mentor. It's not about looking for outside motivation or waiting for the next person to tell you what to do. It's about trusting yourself, knowing that you have the answers inside you. You've been planting the seeds of greatness this entire time, and now you need to step into your own power and trust that you're capable of making the decisions that will change your life. You see, the difference between where you are now and where you want to be is simple. It's the way you talk to yourself. It's the way you approach the challenges that life throws your way. And it's the actions that follow the words you speak. If you've been speaking to yourself like a mentor, you've been training your mind to think like a mentor too. And this will show up in the choices you make, in the way you approach challenges, in the way you handle setbacks. And that's how you become unstoppable. You've built a foundation of self-belief that no external force can shake. You've created a mindset that is unshakable, a mindset that moves you toward your goals, no matter how difficult the journey might seem. You've become someone who doesn't need anyone else's approval to keep going. You've learned how to lead yourself. But let's talk about the real transformation here. It's not about waking up one day and suddenly being perfect. It's about the shift that's already happening inside of you. Whether you realize it or not, you've gone from someone who might have doubted themselves, someone who needed reassurance from others, to someone who now knows that they are fully capable of achieving whatever they set their mind to. And this transformation doesn't stop after day 7. It doesn't stop once you've hit the finish line. No, this is just the beginning. By now you've created a new way of thinking, and that new way of thinking will continue to evolve and grow. The habits you've built in these past 7 days will carry you forward and continue to support you as you move through life. You've created a foundation that you can build on one day at a time. But here's the thing, you don't need to be perfect at this. Nobody is. What matters is that you've made a commitment to yourself. You've decided that you are worth the effort, that you are worth the time, and that you are worth the transformation. And that's a mindset that will carry you through every obstacle, every challenge, and every roadblock that you face. So here's what I want you to do moving forward. I want you to continue talking to yourself like a mentor. Every day I want you to look at yourself in the mirror and speak to yourself with the same encouragement, love, and belief that you would give to someone you deeply care about. I want you to take those words and make them your reality. Don't wait for someone else to come along and show you the way. You already have everything you need inside of you. The true power of this journey isn't just in the words you speak, it's in the belief behind them. It's in the action that follows those words. You've got the tools now. You've got the mindset, you've got the confidence, and you've got the ability to become the person you've always wanted to be. So stop waiting for someone else to tell you what to do. Take the reins, step into the role of your own mentor, and start guiding yourself toward the success you deserve. You've done the work. You've shown up every day. Now it's time to live it. It's time to be the person who leads yourself to success, to growth, to happiness, and to the life you've always dreamed of. You've got this. And from here on out, there's nothing that can stop you.